I wanted to talk to you about a drawing technique called gesture drawing or gesture sketching. This is a quick drawing of a person in a pose that is an action pose. You'd take about 5 seconds to 2 minutes to complete these drawings. That is what a gesture drawing or sketch is. So let me show you what I mean. If you're looking at somebody or you have a picture of a person or an animal in motion, there is a quick way to draw it. It really requires you to loosen your brain. But all that you do is begin with the head and draw the basic parts that you see. Oval for head, square for body, rectangles for legs and arms. I'm not adding detail, but this is also not a stick figure. This is a detailed drawing of a person, but not fully detailed. It's more than a stick figure, less than a final drawing. And from this gesture sketch, which took me about 2 minutes to do, then I can go and add other details. The purpose of a gesture sketch is to open up your brain. Sometimes when we're drawing things, we get really stuck on how it should look. But if we can put down some basic shapes quickly, then we're allowing our brains to think about the whole thing we want to draw. So let's draw this girl that's upside down. I started with a basic drawing, which yes, was a stick figure, but now I'm going back and adding in the details to make her more of a person, filling it out to look like somebody who's upside down. I'm looking at the way that the legs are bending and the arms are bending. Same with this ballerina. I'm going to do this one very quickly. This is not a video that has been sped up. This is just me drawing it as quick as I can. Notice I start with an oval for the head, and then I'm drawing some basic lines that represent the curves of her body. I could stop here after I've drawn the legs and the arms and the tummy and the head, but if I wanted to, I can continue on. This that you see right here would be considered a completed gesture sketch. But I want to show you how you can turn it into something more and something more intense and detailed. So from here, now that I've got my gesture sketch, I'm adding in more details, thinking about how thick her legs are and how thick her arms are, adding in the basics of her hair, but not adding so many details that it's a completed drawing for display. This is just a way to begin my drawing of this ballerina. And here we go. This was a much more detailed gesture sketch of this man in a kicking position, but I began with some basic shapes and then tried to add in more of the details. You can see that in general I have the basic design, but I did have to go back once I realized some of the parts were out of place. So I went back and erased and drew them in the way that they are actually standing. Now here are some tips for gesture sketching. There are no mistakes when you're gesture sketching. Use curved lines and not straight lines because our bodies are never stick straight. Draw quickly, but do not draw reckless or sloppy. Use only the basics, not all the details, which you could see in mine, and try to start with the head. Then add the basics of the body and then the basic forms, which you can see here. Stick figure and then forms. Now these are some examples of gesture sketches made by artists. They are not full drawings of people, but they do look like people that are not flat. They're not stick figures. And you can see in this one how it's progressively gotten more detailed. You could do gesture sketching and gesture drawing as a form of art. Maybe you love it and you want to paint it or collage it or draw it. Or maybe this is a way that you can exercise your art brain to think about the way that the body works and how to draw it. So here are some examples of animals as well in case you're more interested in drawing animals. Today we are going to each practice a gesture sketch, and now you know how.